No, it did not. Can you get out?
Yep.
Okay. Picking a tree, look at your follow through, where you want to go. So you gotta look at how much line you have, and then what tree you want to hook to.
What I would do is walk it.
Yep.
To see how solid I am on either side. Here's the problem because I can't get out that way.
Correct. You're going to be till right about here till you're actually considered free.
Yeah.
But you want to pull yourself straight, but you don't want to go 100 feet past. You don't have that much winch line.
Right.
So you got to go far enough and grab a tree that's strong enough. And that, in theory, would be if you're not stuck that bad. But it all depends on how stuck you actually are. That one's plenty. And ideally, you want the winch to pull you up. You don't want to, like this tree here, the problem with this tree is you're going to have to hook so low to the ground that you're actually going to be pulling yourself further into the ground.
Right.
So you want, for this, you want to actually be pulling yourself up so you're riding on top of the mud. So you'd ideally like it to be about here.
Right.
So I would go that tree because of, yeah. So if you look at like this one here, just that plane you would have to have it at, being low to be strong enough, you're going to pull yourself further into the dirt. Right. Where this one, if you can put it chest high, you're actually going to be pulling yourself up. You're going to be pulling to this side anyway, but that's okay.
Right. I got more ground to work with.
Yeah, and once you're out, you can turn the wheel then.
Right.
Right now it's just getting you out. But ideal would be something right in here, but there's nothing here. And this is where you always have to work with what you have.
Right.
Unless you have extensions or things like that. And 50 foot, like if it was my side-by-side in there, I don't even know if I'd be able to reach to this tree.
Yeah.
Because the line's not long enough. I always have to have an extension.
Yeah.
So, like here, if you had your extension, you could go to the double tree out there.
Yeah.
And then that would be perfect setup for it, but without an extension, you got to go short. Now, I have an extension if you want to do that, or whichever one you prefer.
No, let's do this.
Okay.
And 'cause I want to see how far this part's on spooling it out.
Exactly.
And I don't want to be, uh-oh.
Now, talking different trees to hook up to, we're trying to decide which ones would be more ideal and what angles to go from to follow or to obtain our follow through, which means when you're done winching, where's the vehicle going to end up? So the tree he is attaching it to is strong enough, it's at a good line, and we can keep the winch line up off the ground a little bit to pull the vehicle up instead of further into the mud like the little tree beforehand was. Ideally, this is the perfect line here, but you'd need 150 feet of winch line to get to the next tree that is of suitable size. This little one here on the right was the other one we were considering, but we'd have to be at the base for strength, and at the base it would actually pull the vehicle into the mud more. And as you see here, the mud is up to the frame of the vehicle, so it's not stuck really bad, but it's stuck in there pretty good. It's a 2,000-pound side-by-side, and this entire mud pit, it's just going to keep building more and more resistance as it goes. So it's going to be a decent pull for the winch to try to pull it out. So ideally straight would be good, but off to the side's not going to be too much of an issue. It's relatively flat. Now you can see the big tree there would be the perfect tree, but it's at a terrible angle. There's all those other trees in the way, your winch line would end up catching them, so it's not ideal.
Okay, if it doesn't,
here the participant was having trouble with the engagement lever, so he had to pull the winch line out a little bit for it to catch. Now we're getting ready to start winching. But these two trees over here are okay, but the one's kind of broken off and half rotted. The other one's nice size, but if you look at the angle here, it's just terrible. So just weighing trees, this double tree here would be great, but if you put a tree saver around it, it's going to do more of a squeezing them together then an actual strength pull. So I didn't quite trust that one. Plus, we didn't have enough winch line to reach all that distance. So we're going to stick with the one we originally intended, which is a nice 8-inch tree that should hold all the weight from this scenario.
Well, you're going to be in driving. You got to be.
I know, but when I'm trying to get this tight, high.
The mud will hold you.
Okay.
Yeah, the mud has enough resistance. Now, yep, let the winch catch up.